Welcome back, everyone, to the Bear Travel Plays YouTube channel. Today is Tuesday, January 7th, and I'm back breaking down some college basketball for the Tuesday night slate. We've got a great slate of games on Tuesday night. A couple top 25 matchups I'm going to be breaking down. Also going to have another pick I'm going to add, probably talk about 4 or 5 total games tonight. Also a couple player props as well. Before we do that, we got to talk about the Ohio State game. Shout out to the guy who commented he took Ohio State to win by 1-10. He did cash in a double overtime thriller. Ohio State had a chance to win the game in regulation. Just needed one free throw from Gale, and he missed it. Offensive rebound tip miss. Offensive rebound tip miss. Ohio State went to overtime. I was happy. First overtime, second overtime, up by 5 or 6 points, and Minnesota went back-to-back possessions with 20 seconds left and made both threes. So that was a real dagger after watching the entire game, losing it like that. The player prop had no chance. Dawson Garcia, foul trouble, shot 2 of 10 from the field, maybe 2 of 11 from the field. Horrible night offensively. A guy who is scoring 20-plus points per game basically every night drops single digits whenever I take him. So that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. We're going to move on. We're going to move on to a game that I think is going to be very entertaining, and I think we're going to see the number one team in the country, Tennessee, go down. I'm going to be taking Florida here, minus 2.5 at home. I took Florida on Saturday, hitched my wagon to them going up against Kentucky. That game was on the road. This one will be at home. And I will say in that Kentucky game, I thought Florida played well enough to beat Kentucky, but Kentucky just made so many shots down the stretch. They made so many shots when Florida was making a run. Every time they got to 2, Kentucky would make 2 or 3 threes in a row, and it just felt like Florida was always trying to catch up. I do think they played extremely well, and I think they will play extremely well in this game. I think that loss actually helps them. It was the first loss of the season. It was a heartbreaking loss in the SEC first conference game. They put up 100 points. Defensively, they need some work. They gave up 106 points to that Kentucky team, but I do think they can shut down Tennessee in this game for the most part. Tennessee offensively, they haven't been the best team in the world, 79.8 points per game. Defensively, Tennessee has been great this season, but I don't think it's going to matter with this Florida team. They are so very good down low at second chance points. The guards are great rebounders. The forwards are great rebounders. This is I would say the second. I think they said they were the second best offensive rebounding team in the country. After that Kentucky game, it might be first, but they just live by the second chance points. They need to take care of the ball in this game. They had a ton of turnovers in that Kentucky game that cost them 25, 30 points from the turnovers. But I do think Florida, with the second chance points going up against this Tennessee team, they will be able to get the win at home coming off a loss. Tennessee has not lost in the season. They've only played a couple teams that I would say are good. Arkansas wasn't that great. They dominated Arkansas. They've played Illinois, beat them by 2 on the road. Illinois very easily could have won that game. Other than that, they've played Baylor. So Baylor, you guys watched them on Saturday as well. They're not that good of a team either. So this is going to be the first real test, I think, for Tennessee. We'll see what they're up to the challenge or not. But I'm going to take Florida here at home, minus 2.5 as the play. Next play, we're looking at Michigan going up against UCLA. Michigan this year, I've talked about them a lot. They've played some really good teams this season. I do think they're, one of the better teams in the Big Ten. I think they're going to be very competitive in this conference, but UCLA has been different this season. They play extremely great defense. The 1 or 2 games that they've been tested, they've been able to win those games. At Oregon, beat them by 2 points. At home against number 14 Gonzaga, beat them by 3 points. They have not lost a game at home yet this season. They do have technically some losses on their schedule where it says they're at home, but those were tournament games, neutral site games. Those games don't count for your home record. UCLA has not lost yet at home. I think Michigan's a great team. This should be a battle the entire way through. This feels like a coin flip game to me. I'm going to take the home team. Michigan has only played a total of 2 away games this season. I think that will hurt them just a little bit. Michigan also has 2 losses on the year, one of them being to Arkansas, one of them being to Oklahoma. 2 teams that I don't think are that good anyway. I think UCLA can hang in there with Michigan at home. They're going to pull away in this game. I'll take them minus 2.5 as the play. Let's go to the player props, and we're going to just go back to the guy who made us a ton of money on Saturday afternoon. That's Walter Clayton Jr. After dropping 33 points going up against Kentucky, I'm going to take him once again to go over his total points. Might even get a discount line here going up against Tennessee because they're so good defensively. So we might even get this at 15.5, 16.5. I'm willing to play it up 17.5. Walter Clayton Jr. on the season, 18.3 points per game. He's shooting nearly 50% from the field and 40% from deep. He was unbelievable in that Kentucky game. Anytime Florida needed an answer, whenever Kentucky went on a run, Walter Clayton Jr. was the guy that answered the call. 33 points. And like I said, in big game situations, we have seen it all season long with Walter Clayton Jr. Arizona State, Virginia, Wichita State, Wake Forest. Those are the four biggest games that Florida had played this season. He scored 19 plus points in all those games. Biggest game of the year at Kentucky, he scored 33 points. This is a monster game for Walter Clayton Jr. He's going to be at home. I think he puts up another big number. I'll take the over total points as the play. And for the final play of the day, we're going to be talking about a kid that I talked about at the very start of the season. That's going to be Trey Johnson in Texas to go over his total points going up against Auburn. Has a tough draw going up against Auburn, but this is going to be an NBA player. This is the best player on this Texas team by a wide margin. He's coming off a really tough test against Texas A&M in the first conference game, put up 11 points, did not shoot well from the field. He had 13 attempts, only 11 points. He did get himself at the free throw line quite a bit to help out with the scoring in that game. But on the season, he's averaging 18. He's on the floor 31, 32 minutes per game. And at home, he flips the switch. I don't know what it is, but in 9 games so far played at home for Texas, he is shooting 50.8% from the field, 44.4% from deep. He's scoring 20.2 points per game at home. That drastically changes whenever he goes to away games. Away games, he's shooting 34.8% from the field. He's only scoring 15.2 points per game. This is going to be a home game. It's going to be a really tough test for Texas. I am going to take Texas against the spread as one of my picks, but I think Trey Johnson can put up a big number here. This is going to be a game scouts are going to be watching, so this is going to be a big game for him. This will most likely be a really big game for like people judging him for the NBA. I do think he's going to be a really good NBA player. He's got all the everything you're looking for in a guard. 6'6", 200 pounds. He's got a jump shot. He can finish at the rim. He's basically what everybody's looking for an NBA guard. But I'm going to take him in this game over his total points against a tough test in Auburn. Let's go to that recap graphic. The plays that I have not talked about, Auburn, Texas, I would take Texas. I am going to take Texas, actually, plus 10.5. That's my last play of the day. They are at home. They haven't been playing great this season. This was a team who came in top 25 in the nation to start the season. They've got a lot of talent. Auburn, they also have a lot of talent, but I think at home for Texas, the environment will be good. I just don't see them getting blown out in this game. So I'll take them double-digit points, double-digit with the points there. Other games, Cincinnati going up against Baylor. This is a tough one. Baylor's minus 5.5. Feels like they're going to bounce back after getting walloped by Iowa State, but Cincinnati has a way to just slow everything down, and they're pretty efficient offensively whenever they slow things down. If Baylor pushes the pace, this one could be a 20-point game in favor of Baylor. I think that is most likely the thing to happen, especially coming off the loss. So if you're going to take that game, I'd take Baylor minus 5.5 at home. Push the pace. Cincinnati won't be able to keep up. Other game, Kentucky going up against Georgia. Just take the over in this one. I don't think anybody's going to be able to stop Kentucky. Offensively, they haven't been great defensively this year, and Georgia has been a massive surprise in the SEC. They are putting up a lot of points. They've got some really great scoring guards on that team. I think Georgia will be able to give Kentucky a run for their money at home, but I'm going to take the over, or I would take the over in that game if you were looking at that one. But for me, 5 plays in total. Florida minus 2.5, UCLA minus 2.5, Texas with the points plus 10.5 at home. We're going to go Walter Clayton Jr. over his total points, probably going to be 16.5, and then Trey Johnson over his total points, probably going to be 16.5 as well as the 5 plays on Tuesday night. Guys, that's going to do it for the NCAA basketball picks and props for Tuesday, January 7th slated games. If you guys enjoyed the content, please sure drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel below. See you guys next video, and thanks for watching.